everyone, and welcome to
The Movie House.
Today we're going to talk to you about a movie from 2010 called Secretariat, starring Diane Lane, John Malkovich, and a few other people.
Lots of other people, as you'll come to see. It's like, I recognize them. I recognize her.
What'd you think?
Overall, it was a decent movie. This came a couple years after Seabiscuit, and I really like Seabiscuit. I think it's a much tighter story, interesting story. This was an interesting story, but I think it just wasn't done as well. The speed was very slow. It seemed like a long movie. After a while, I was like, I know the horse wins. I'm not interested anymore. But that was my thought. What about you?
Yeah, it's a 2 hour and 4 minute movie, but it did seem longer than that. And we were discussing this, and unfortunately, it has to be compared to Seabiscuit because Seabiscuit came out first. And it was a very good movie. It was very well received, made, I think, a lot of money. And this one, I think, maybe broke even at the box office. I don't know that it won any awards. I don't really remember it being out in the theater or being discussed. And it's a fine movie, but when you compare it to Seabiscuit, it really does fall short. The characterizations are not as deep and doesn't have as much humor and as much heart. I think you can see them trying,
right?
But it just doesn't quite make it.
Right. And that's my observation was that I realized after we watched the movie that like John Malkovich's character, and these are all, it's true events, true people. And apparently he was a really, really good trainer. Unfortunately, in the movie, you never see him training the horse.
Right.
That was the whole idea, is he's the trainer who trained Secretariat, and you don't see him training whatsoever. The jockey was supposed to be a very, very good jockey. You never see his interaction with the horse. All you do is see him on the horse, off the horse, on the horse, but you never see them bond. You don't see the connection. You don't see how they work together, because the horse and the jockey need to work together. So there's that relationship. There is no relationship. So I thought that was very unusual to make this, the definition known that we got this trainer and we got this jockey, and we don't see any reason why they're so good and why they're the ones for this job.
Yeah, and like you said, the dramatic tension is hard to manufacture, because if you know anything about Secretariat, you know he wins. So there's not a lot of drama there. You're just kind of watching things unfold. And most of the drama takes place in relation to the owner lady, which I can't even remember her name. Penny, yeah, Tweety. She's trying to save her family's legacy. Her dad built up this horse farm, and he's not doing well. And if he dies,
spoiler alert,
if he dies, they're going to have to pay all these estate taxes, which they don't really even get mad about it, which I thought was weird. They know, hey, if he dies, we're going to have to pay $6 million in estate taxes, and we don't have the money.
Yeah.
So she comes up with a plan to try
which that was interesting. That was interesting.
But they don't really get mad about it like I would. I'm like, that's crazy. Why is the government doing this to us?
Right.
But they don't go there, and it's something I thought was odd.
Right.
So that was kind of interesting. But again, the drama of it all was just kind of lost because it's a tax issue.
Right. Well, and then the family issue, she's a housewife. She came from this wonderful legacy, but she's married to a tax lawyer, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think he's a tax lawyer. They live in Colorado. They have 4 children, and she's a housewife. So I appreciated that. I appreciate them showing somebody who enjoys being a mother, enjoys being a wife, doing the laundry, cooking dinner, all that. And then when she's working on saving her family's farm, which happens to be in Virginia, and this takes over at least 5 years. This is a 5-year history in the movie. And you really don't see, you catch a little bit of the hardship that must have been going between from Colorado to Virginia and trying to do this and at the same time keep her marriage healthy and alive and her relationships with her children healthy and alive. And we even decided that the whole relationships, it was so minuscule that they could have just left it out, because they concentrated on the oldest daughter and you really had no idea who the other three were. So it was like, well, they're not important.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you're going to focus on one child, then you should focus on them all.
Yeah, the other three kids are pretty much non-entities. The
Right.
husband's pretty much a non-entity. You don't really know what he thinks about anything. Is he upset she's gone so much? Is he glad she's trying to save the farm? You have no idea because they don't
Right.
show you. And
Or it's very minuscule. It's like a minute. Okay, so that's all
yeah,
that
I mean, it's
suffices.
practically non-existent. And yeah, again, the whole B plot with the oldest daughter and her hippie lifestyle that she's embracing was just completely unnecessary.
Right.
Didn't add anything to the story. It could have been completely cut out. So
Right. Or if you were going to do that, at least have some other theme that somehow is connected with the horse.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and
or
the horse,
the time period, and they really didn't do that.
and the horse had no personality.
No,
It was just
they
a
couldn't-
horse.
Right.
And again, the tension wasn't there because he's a gigantic horse. They call him Biggerhead. And he's got a great pedigree. And everybody knows he's a fantastic horse. Okay. So he wins races. That's not a big surprise. He's
Right.
a fantastic
Right.
horse. So
Yeah.
it was just...
And
yeah.
and apparently, again, spoiler alert, this horse was very personable. He enjoyed the humans he was around. But again, you only saw brief seconds of that. It wasn't really delved into this connection he had with the owner
Yeah.
or the connection he had with the groomsmen. They showed a little bit, but to me, Seabiscuit, the horse, was a character.
Right.
He's a main character in the movie. And this is Secretariat, and he's like, I'm just over here.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Exactly. And the cast is really good. Again, it's Diane Lane, John Malkovich, Margie Martindale.
Yeah, she's really
Maggie
good. She's
Martindale.
in so many things.
Yeah, she's really good in everything she does.
The guy who plays her brother, he's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
And
Fred
so many
Dalton
things.
Thompson has a small part. He does a good job. I mean, they're good at their
What they're doing.
portrayals. It's just the overall story just doesn't do their talent justice.
Yeah. And so then that makes it seem long. You're
Yeah.
just like, okay, is this over? Is this over? So
Okay, so that's it for Seabiscuit.
nope.
Don't
Secretariat.
Don't waste your time.
Secretariat.
Secretariat.
Seabiscuit,
Watch
good.
Seabiscuit. Don't watch
Secretariat, not so good.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.